Welcome to Lesson 5. I'm your host, John Malanka, and I'm here with Dr. David Bearman. Most of us know there are a lot of emotional symptoms of depression, but what you may not know is that there can be physical symptoms that range from lack of appetite, lack of energy, and pain issues that are possibly chronic. For example, some patients have experienced digestive issues which led to stomach pain. Others have experienced headaches triggered by stress from depression, weighing on all the other aspects of life. In fact, a 2010 study led by researchers from the University of Oxford showed that pain actually impacts those with depression even more intensely than those living without it. While depression can lead to pain, sometimes the reverse is true, and headaches, as well as pains, as well as aches throughout the body, can actually be the reason for your depression. So welcome back, Dr. Bearman. So if you can let's get to the core of it. How does pain from depression affect us, and how does it show up in our body?
Well, the main symptoms of depression are decreased energy, decreased mood, decreased appetite, and difficulty sleeping. Difficulty sleeping can certainly cause increased perception of pain. You're not rested. You haven't given the body an opportunity to repair itself. And of course, having surgery is something that can lead to depression. The nice thing about cannabis is that it is a antidepressant. It can elevate your mood. It can help you with your sleep. It can help you with your appetite. I even had some people who say that it helps them with their energy, and I'm guessing that that's because it's helped them with their depression. So there's no doubt that cannabis can be useful in terms of treating depression, and there's no doubt that depression can be part of the post-surgery feelings that you're having. Most of us like to think of ourselves as being, perfect specimens. We're never going to have anything that's going to break or need to be fixed. And the first time you have surgery, you begin to realize that we are mortal and that there are things that are going to go wrong with us, and that can be quite depressing. So, the way to deal with that is to use antidepressants, to try some meditation, to recognize that you may have some post-surgical depression, and don't feel badly about seeking some counseling for that. That's what it's there for. So stomach pain is something that can come with a lot of things. We all have stomach pain if we're in pain, if we have a lot of anxiety, if we're depressed, our vagus nerve may be working overtime. And I've mentioned earlier that cannabis was useful for irritable bowel syndrome. It slows down the speed of neurotransmission, slows down your peristaltic contractions, and can decrease your abdominal pain. So it's certainly something that can be useful for that. Now, some people have a lot of body stiffness that can be caused by anxiety, from muscle spasm, from worry, and cannabis is an antispasmodic, so it's likely to help that. So those are some things that you can look at in terms of things that are related to your surgery. Remember that every illness, every condition is psychosomatic. Some conditions are more somatic than others. Some conditions are more psychological than others. So don't be surprised that you're going to have a psychological component, a psychological overlay to your medical condition. I mean, even if it's something like cancer, the way in which you respond to it is important. The way in which you think about it is important. And by decreasing your depression, by decreasing your anxiety, by feeling more comfortable in dealing with the aftermath of the surgery, it's likely to at least help your quality of life, if not possibly speed up the healing process.
So would you recommend, is there a best or better way to use cannabis when on medication for depression, for psychological imbalances?
Find yourself a psychiatrist who understands how cannabis works. You might want to read Dr. Fitchner's book, Cannabinomics. I know that Dr. PMLE at UC Irvine has demonstrated to his satisfaction that cannabinoids are effective in treating bipolar disorder. So I think you want to find yourself a mental health professional who understands cannabis, cannabinoids, and the endocannabinoid system. I mean, there's no reason at this juncture that you have to make that journey yourself. I mean, you should understand a little bit about how this stuff works and recognize that if it's going to be beneficial, probably going to get your benefits from relatively low doses of cannabis than to have to get higher than a kite. Actually, modest doses of THC and CBD can be very useful in treating anxiety and depression.